Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Hey Church podcast. I'm Preston, I'm your host, and I'm here to help you empower your church and grow your impact. And today we're focusing on an aspect of pastoral leadership that's very important, which is vision casting and long-term goal setting. As a pastor, the ability to set clear and compelling vision and long-term goals is vital for guiding your church into the future. If there's no vision, if there's no growth, you're just aimlessly taking your church nowhere. You're just going. So today we're going to talk about how to set that vision, how to set that goal, and how to share it in a very practical and step-by-step way. So the first step in vision casting is simply defining what that vision is. And of course, this is a super basic first step. We're going to get more in depth as this podcast goes on. But what is God calling your church to achieve? What is your church unique purpose in your community that you're set there to serve, that only you can do? Obviously, our first step of being a church is to bring people to Christ, to share the gospel. The underlying mission or vision of a church differs depending on your location. So, for instance, your church might be very gifted in taking care of widows and orphans, as the Bible talks about. And so that might be a ministry that you focus on. So your vision could be birthed out of that you want to be a church that has X, Y, and Z resources to fulfill your vision and mission of taking care of that people group. Another one could be a food bank, or another could be, if you're in a college town, having a college ministry could be your vision, that you want to have and resource young people to have a successful college career. Again, these are secondary visions to the spreading of the gospel, but what is unique to your church, and define that vision and set a 10-year, a 3-year, and a 1-year goal for it. The vision should be more than just a goal. It should be clear, inspiring picture of what your church can become. So don't set something so small that your church has already achieved it. And most importantly, it's about understanding God's heart for your community and aligning your church's actions to fulfill that purpose. I really want to caution about just making goals for having goals. There really is that relationship with God that is important here as a pastor and a leader, hearing and knowing what's next for your church and leading that in there. Don't make goals or visions in vain just because you want to. Do it with purpose and with deliberate nature. Once your vision is clear, the next step is communicating that vision. Again, another groundbreaking point, but something we need to remind ourselves of, that communicate a vision not effectively communicated is like a seed not planted. Share your vision passionately and repeatedly in sermons, in meetings, and all forms of church communication. If you have a mission statement, or you don't necessarily need one, there's a big push to get mission statements for everything. It's helpful for communicating a vision, but simply understanding your culture and your language is a way that you can repeatedly share what the vision is and culture, and sharing when you hit goal markers. So again, if you have a vision and then set goals for it, and KPIs, so key performance indicators, are like what's the small goal you want to hit this quarter, and then share that with your church. Share the wins when you get closer to your goal. On this point, remember, repetition is a key to ensuring everyone understands and remembers the vision. The more you share with your congregation and your leaders, the more they're going to understand it and all go towards one goal. This is true in business. This is true in church. When everybody is working towards one vision, then it's amazing. It's impactful. It's amazing. I remember one leader talk about motorcycles, and when you see one motorcycle down the road, that you might think that's cool. But if you see 100 motorcycles going down the road, that's impactful. That's a lot of individuals going in one direction, and it's making an impact. And so that's the same thing with getting people behind a vision, is getting a lot of individuals going the same direction. Now, let's start talking about setting long-term goals. These should be specific, measurable, achievable, and relevant. So these should be goals that are specific. So again, you have your vision, which is where you want to end up in 10, 3, 1 year. And then break it down into specific goals. So what, if you were to achieve that vision, What would that look like? Now you've got a goal. You have an end goal, a realistic one that you can quantify that if you hit or miss, and then walk it back. What are the steps or smaller goals that will take us to this place? Make them specific, make it measurable, make it achievable, and make it relevant to your vision and your people. And make it time bound as well. So a SMART goal. If you've ever heard of the acronym SMART, that's it. Break down your vision into actionable steps that you and your church can take to get towards this. This could mean setting yearly themes or launching new ministries or community outreach programs, whatever that goal is that's going to get you closer to your vision. Start with that. Now, remember, regularly review and adapt. Your vision is one thing, your goals are another thing. Goals can change and vary, and strategies can change as well. As you move forward, some goals might need to be adjusted, and that's okay. Stay flexible and open to the Holy Spirit's guidance, especially if that changes, you got to listen to that. Regularly check in with your leadership team. That's a crucial step for keeping track of progress and making necessary changes. Get input and buy-in from your people. Which leads us to our next point, which is involve your congregation. In this journey, vision casting and goal setting are not solo tasks. Engage your church members, get their input, and encourage them to take active roles in achieving these goals. When you have buy-in from your congregation, just as we just mentioned a moment ago, a bunch of individuals going in one direction makes an impact and really can affect a community for good and achieve your goal. Our church is united by vision, and when we're all in accord, it's unstoppable. It's amazing what people can do when we're all aligned on one vision and one purpose for expanding the kingdom. I hope that this inspires you as you cast bold visions and set meaningful long-term goals for your church this year. If you are in the midst of this process or you have insights to share, we'd love to hear from you. Reach out to us at hey@heychurch.co, or you can connect with us on our social media platforms. We're on all the major ones, so you can find us there. Start commenting. We will reach back out to you. Thanks for joining us today. May God give you the wisdom and clarity as you lead your church towards a bright and impactful future. Until next time, keep casting that vision and setting those goals. We'll see you next time.